Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. And today's field of discussion is on the breakup of in the 1996 Titanic movie. Now, I just recently realized this that September, the first of September is actually the day of when the wreck of the RMS Titanic was discovered in 1985. It never really occurred to me the date. It's just so funny that it happens that I always had a tradition around Labor Day, around the Labor Day holiday, of watching films, documentaries about the Titanic. Between much of August and September is a tradition. I tend to watch certain movies about the Titanic, particularly the 1953 Titanic with Barbara Stanwyck and Clifton Webb, that I did a video on reviewing that movie. And after watching that movie, sometimes, since I used to buy the movie Titanic special features, they used to have the documentary Beyond Titanic, which is the only documentary that talks about the aftermath, the events between after the ship sank and prior to the discovery of the wreck, where it chronicles all the movies that have been made. And that's one of my favorite documentaries. I watch it every year around August, ever since I was 10 years old. Then around Labor Day, when I was in the 3rd grade, when I was 9 years old, I watched my first documentary the A&E documentary, 2-part A&E documentary, Death of a Dream. And it became a tradition since to watch a documentary about the Titanic around Labor Day. But it happens to find out that's quite fitting because September happens to be the anniversary of when they discovered the wreck. So both April I celebrate watching the documentary. April the 14th I watch the documentary around when the Titanic sank. Then I watch another one around when the wreck was discovered. So it's both a fitting tribute. And I always noticed that they tend to show a lot of documentaries and movies on TV as well, such that they show a lot of the 1997 James Cameron and History Channel show documentaries and National Geographic. I never realized all the time it was I think tribute to the discovery of the wreck. So with that being said, my discussion video will be on the 1996 Titanic movie, which I covered before, but after kind of rewatching and reviewing the movie, I realized that I didn't really get my thoughts on the breakup of the ship, which being significant for this movie being the very first film that portrayed the breakup. Prior to that, no Titanic movie had ever shown the breakup of the wreck. Even though it was the first movie, like I said, this movie has a lot of historical inaccuracies and mistakes, and also to add to this, I didn't mention is that in the A&E documentary Beyond Titanic, it points out all the mistakes in the 53, but interestingly, it doesn't talk about talks about the mistakes in the 1996 Titanic, which was full of a lot of historical inaccuracies and mistakes, nothing that's addressed. But it does point out that it was the first film, as I said, to show the ship breaking too. Into talking about the breakup itself, I would say it stands out. Stands out, but yet it don't seem like it was as detailed, in my opinion, as the James Cameron, which I was so used to seeing prior to seeing this Titanic film. And that used to be my favorite part of the movie, was the breakup scene of the ship splitting in two and the funnels collapsing. As a kid, I guess it interested me, it fascinated me. But when it comes to this movie, and particularly the breakup, it happens, but they show it, but it's just not as detailed. It doesn't have the same, I guess, not surprisingly, it's a made-for-TV movie, but it's not as, I guess, well done, in my opinion. And really, about my opinions about the final plunge itself, how they portray it, it's kind of it's different because the Titanic film has shown it they have shown it that has shown it occur like that.
It's a weird move.
Occur like that. They show like a montage of different events taking place at the same time, and usually with most Titanic films, they just show it just happen. The ship just sinks as it is. The events happen in time. But this is the only movie that does it, kind of like combining scenes and events that occur at the same time. A montage of events as the ship is sinking. I can kind of show you. Kind of has like a little dark, eerie feeling to it at times when you watch it, but it just doesn't compare against something that I feel like when I get out of this, I feel like I'm missing something. Like there's a part of the movie I missed when seeing these scenes. And it just, I don't know how to explain it, but it shows it sinks, it shows the final plunge, but it just feels like there's bits of details missing. It just feels incomplete. I don't know, complete in my opinion. But it's different. Now getting to the breakup, they're about to show in a few minutes. And here. You kind of see the panels breaking up. Now this is the part that particularly that like I'm saying, like I feel like I'm missing something. Like this part scene right here. Well, let me start over with the breakup. It shows like the planks come apart and like the back of the ship come apart, and it shows like panels, and that's pretty much the breakup. But it does not, like I said, as detailed as James Cameron. That's my take on it. It's just like there's a lot of things going on, like showing different. It fades back and forth with people, and this part particularly where it's showing the boy calling for his mom, like saying, he says, "Mom, mom, mom." I don't understand which one the character is from. Is he supposed to be one of the passengers in the lifeboat, or is he on the deck of the wreck? Now, I'm kind of wondering if he's that steerage family that they show right before right before the final moments.
Look, have you ever seen so many stars?
And this is them right there.
Must be a million trillion.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven.
And not only that, it doesn't really show much flooding. It does show like flooding, but it just shows like different, like blurred scenes. Like it just still doesn't compare to James Cameron, how it doesn't show as much flooding. Many of these early Titanic films don't have a lot of flooding, other than the 1943 has much flooding showing the interior of the grand staircase. I'm going to show the grand staircase scene. I think I did show earlier. Here it is right here. It shows their version of the grand staircase flooding, but not anything to compare to James Cameron, the dining hall. I mean the hallway, the first class stateroom. But as I say right here, like is this supposed to be the steerage family they were showing at the final moments that this boy was calling for his mom, or is he in the lipo? It just feels like there's a bit of detail I'm missing that should be more to it, or I think should have been better shown. Nor does it follow up on the Allisons, or what happens to the Allison family. And this reminds me of when I was reading on the discussion board about this movie that there's a scene that like there's just like funny moments with the moments where just as they show the ship where the deck is just getting ready to split apart, there's a they say there's a like two women or two children, I guess, on the bench on the deck, and they just calm, and I guess last they said la-di-da, just all calm and relaxed. But as they just sit down, not as everybody else is panicking and fleeing, I guess jumping off the ship, or I guess heading to the stern where it's still dry, they're just calm and relaxed in the bench. But as the thing just splits apart, the deck starts splitting apart, all of a sudden they just take off running. That's one of the things people say in the scene. But that's my thought about the final plunge. I feel like it's just not complete. Like there was more to it I'm not seeing. I just feel like I'm just not satisfied with it. But it's interesting, a different way they showed the final plunge in that type of style, that montage style, and as I said, it's just not as, it doesn't compete with the James Cameron. It just, I guess because really I had seen the James Cameron before seeing all these other Titanic movies. It was the same kind of odd feeling I had when I saw the 53 version, when they showed the ship blowing up and exploding without breaking in two, because I wasn't used to that from watching the James Cameron. Many years I was accustomed to. So that's my take on the breakup too, on the 1996 Titanic. And that's all I got to say on it. If I think I'm missing anything. This another video by Chase Pounds. Stay tuned for the next video.